Good afternoon, folks. 4:30 Eastern Time here in New Britain, Connecticut. I am Vinny from Suds in the Squared Circle with a daily afternoon update. Didn't do this morning. This morning, actually, I was doing a team competition at my fitness center, and let me tell you, it was grueling. My entire body is sore. I have to give a shout out to my entire team. Team Red, the Wolf Pack, of course, NWO inspired. But either way, it was a good thing. We did complete the entire process and the entire thing in 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 20 seconds. And we did not come in last. So that's always a good thing. But now it was my first time actually doing it. So next time I actually participate, I'll know what I'm expecting. I got to say this, though. Today was the first time that I actually went out and bought this stuff here, Prime hydration drink. I've never tried it before, and I was curious. Bruce Pritchard always says that he likes it, and I've seen a lot of people with it. I tried it. I'm not a huge fan of coconut water, and of course this is not sponsored by Prime. I get no money, so it's not an actual endorsement. But I will say, on my personal experience, I'm not a huge fan of coconut water, but this stuff was actually really, really good. I got the ice pop and the lemon lime flavor, and it was fantastic. Hey, Nathan, thanks for tuning in today. But I've got to point out that I did go ahead and watch Friday's episodes of Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful. I am thoroughly enjoying getting into these shows now. And there's a lot of the same soap opera storylines due to the fact that, all the writers just go from one show to another. It's like wrestling. But I will say that I am enjoying the storyline with Victor Newman. He literally is Vince McMahon, a fictional version, of course. But the way that he's playing his kids and making them think that he's got some kind of form of Alzheimer's or dementia is absolutely something that Vince McMahon would do. I can see Vince doing that to Stephanie and Shane and maybe even Triple H, and to see which one of them may stab him in the back. But it's absolutely enjoyable. I did watch GH last night. I'm loving the show. I'm loving where the storylines are going with that. I still have to watch Friday's episode of Days, so I will catch up with that as well. I've got about 15 pages of notes for Days and GH. I didn't get into taking notes for Y&R and B&B yet because I just started watching it. So I have to get to know the characters and know the storylines. But with Days and GH, I've got at least 15 pages of notes. After we record Suds in the Squared Circle on Sunday or this week, and then on Monday with Blog Talk Radio, and I talk about GH and Days, I will go ahead and upload the show notes to my Patreon and the My Being Coffee page. It is patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. Buymeacoffee.com/Suds and Squared Circle. So go ahead and help and go ahead and join those. I'm just getting started, so it's not going to be as much exclusive stuff out there yet. Still working on it. I'm still working on growing this brand. I really am mad at the fact that Heels was taken off of Stars. I can understand the show being canceled, but to just completely take the show off of the platform, off of Hulu, off of where, because Stars is an add-on to Hulu or an add-on to Amazon Prime, and they took Heels off. Like, you can't even watch the 2 seasons anymore. So unless there's like a bootleg version that I could find out there to find it, I can't do a rewatch podcast about Heels. But I am joining the hashtag Save Heels movement because I want to see it come back. Season 2 ended with a big cliffhanger, and I want to see where they go. I want to see where they go with the DWL and the FWD joining forces, and then the TV network wanting to give one of them a network deal, and then Jack Spade getting paralyzed or so speaks from a shooting star press, which amazingly, and this is, I guess, one of the logical things, the logic things is that Stephen Amell's character, Jack Spade, hit a fantastic shooting star press off the top rope, landed perfectly, and supposedly got paralyzed. Yet, at WrestleMania 19, Brock Lesnar attempted a shooting star press, landed on his head, got a concussion, and didn't break his neck. So there's a little bit of, illogic there. It's TV. We know this. So we kind of have to suspend our disbelief for a little bit. But ultimately, I want to see where it's going. So, yes, definitely go ahead. Hashtag save heels. Let's get it onto a different network, whether it's going to be ABC, NBC, CBS. Even I would love NBC to pick it up and put it on Peacock. That way you've got WWE, heels, and so on and so forth. Because the episodes of Young Rock are still on Peacock, even though Young Rock was canceled too. That's a good show that I might, because those episodes are still on Peacock. So I might actually do a rewatch podcast on Young Rock, which would be great, because being a wrestling fan and knowing the history of The Rock and his upbringing in the business, don't know too much about Rocky Johnson, so I really can't tell whether a lot of that is historically correct. But I can go ahead and the current stuff. So that might be something to think about. Like I said, I'm also working on getting a health and wellness podcast up, not necessarily utilizing, but spotlighting the gym that I go to, Sin Fitness in Berlin. I'm working on it. One of the owners and I are going to sit down and possibly come up with a game plan about doing a podcast based around other people's journeys, whether it's health, weight loss, etc., about their journeys and so on and so forth. So we're looking at that. There's a lot coming down the pike. I'm also going to be putting together a mental health podcast pretty soon. Getting everybody's schedules together is kind of tricky. But we're going to be doing something where we talk about the mental health in society today, not just relating to wrestling, not just relating to soap operas, but in general, especially with the way social media is and how social media is, especially X, is very, very toxic. The fandoms in general are very, very toxic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out there for anybody who's watching or listening to this. I want drop in the comments a time that you were bullied on social media. It doesn't have to be X or Facebook or anything, but let me know a time that you were bullied. Because there's a lot of cyberbullying, and it's not just teenagers, and it doesn't have to be something where it's drastic to the point where you thought about contemplating suicide. God forbid. You hear too much of that. Think there was a female Japanese wrestler a number of years ago. I think her name was Hana Kimura, and she was bullied so much on Twitter at the time that she ended up killing herself, and it's just very sad to think about. So I'm gonna be doing something like that, but I want to get some feedback from the listeners, the watchers of this, to let me know about an experience you had with cyberbullying. And you don't have to go into too much detail, but just how cyberbullying, social media bullying has affected you. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to watch Friday's Days, take my notes. I'm going to rewatch Friday's GH, take my notes, so I'm good for the weekend. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back with another live for all you guys to watch and listen to. Another daily update, Sunday's daily update. I want to thank you all for watching. Help me out if you can. If not, I want you to enjoy it. That's the whole point of us being on, being media personalities. So whether it's small time or big time, is to entertain people. Let people get entertained, get educated, but ultimately have fun. That's the name of the game, is having fun. My name is Vinny from the Suds and Squirt Circle. Go ahead, follow us everywhere. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, or X, I should say, Facebook, YouTube, and then go to Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, and you could definitely support the show, support the media, programming, and thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, everybody.